I have a confession to make. Last week's game against Cincinnati, I didn't watch it. I mean, I watched it, some of it, and I was following along with what was happening, but I didn't watch it, like I normally watch it. And I feel partly responsible for what happened, and I'm sorry. So the reason I wasn't watching was because I was on my way back from a retreat on the San Juan Islands, and the people that I was coming back from the islands with, one of them, she has a place on Capitol Hill, so we dropped off the van at her apartment and we're waiting for Uber, and she's right down the street from this sports bar, and all of a sudden, as we're waiting for our Uber, we hear this like primal, guttural scream, and I know it's about the game, obviously we're in Seattle. And I turned to one of my friends and I'm like panicked, right? Because I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I can't stand like not knowing what's going on. And she's like, I think it was good. I think it was good. And I'm like, I don't know. And then sure enough, it turned out that it was Thomas Rawls' 69-yard touchdown. And then right after that, Bobby Wagner had the fumble recovery for a touchdown. So all of a sudden, I'm on the way to the airport and I'm feeling fantastic because we're up by 17 points. The score is 24-7. We're going into the fourth quarter. We're playing Cincinnati, who's undefeated, and we're in their house. I mean, who could have foreseen that, right? So we get to the airport, and I have a lot of time before my flight, so obviously the first thing that I do is I go to a sports bar and check in with the game. And I get there, and all of a sudden, we're now only leading 24-14, and Cincinnati has the ball and they're driving down the field. So as I sit in this bar at Sea-Tac, surrounded by Hawks fans and some Alaska Airlines employees and some random tourists who are kind of vaguely curious about why we're so insane, but also a little terrified, our 17-point lead evaporates. Poof, gone. And we go into overtime, and we lose. How is it possible that we give up a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter? How is it possible with our defense, the LOB, with all the talent that we have, that we can just epically collapse? And now here we are, 2-3, our season on the brink. How is that possible? So today we're home. We play Carolina, and Carolina, they always play us tough, and there's a lot of talk about the fact that we knocked them out of the playoffs last year and they're mad. Whatever. I don't care about them. I care about us. See, last year when we played Carolina, we were 3-3 going into that game, and everybody said, what's wrong with the Seahawks? Their season's over. Turned out, not so much. This year, we need to beat them to get to 3-3. So it's a little bit more of a desperate situation. But I will say this. There's no place like home. Beast Mode is back. So now we have him and Baby Beast Mode. And I would like to think that our defense learned a thing or two from last week. I hope they watch the film over and over and over and over again so that that kind of defensive collapse never happens again. And Carolina's good. They'll play us tough. They always do. And they're 4-0. But the teams that they've beaten so far are Jacksonville, Houston, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay. So not exactly the cream of the NFL crop. But nothing is easy this season. Nothing is easy. And I don't think today is going to be easy. But I think that we can pull out a win. And I got to tell you, at the end of that game, I'm sitting in the airport bar, feeling very, very sad. My server, this sweet older lady, she comes up to me and she says, "Don't worry, honey. We'll get them next week." Do it for that lady in the bar. Do it for me. Do it for all the 12 Hawks. Get them this week. Go Hawks.